How are people not sick and tired of superhero movies yet? It's called superhero fatigue, or comic fatigue, and it actually is a growing thing. While box offices, viewerships are typically still healthy for such products, there is a noticeable increase in critical opinions of those same products, indicating that while such films or shows are being watched, they are being enjoyed less. It's a genre. Look at how many Western movies were made in the 20th century. The amount of super films doesn't come close. For me, a 70s kid, there's decades of wanting to see superhero movies taken seriously to get out of my system. Iron Man was the first movie I watched again immediately. Walked out, bought another ticket, walked back in. Finally, someone got what I imagined happened in the comics onto the goddamn screen. Without the whole cast and crew broadcasting, nobody takes this seriously, right? I'm just doing it until I get a real movie. On top of that, have you seen how cautious and derivative the movie industry is? Remaking popular movies every 20 years. We'll ignore the last 20 years of Spider-Man for the sake of this rant. Is tiring the viewing public. Superheroes haven't been done well, as a rule, prior to the last 2 decades. And there's nearly a century of material. Is it any wonder studio execs are mining them and hoping for gold? Some people, including me, are. Same with Star Wars. Other people prefer things that are slightly familiar in nature but tell a different story. Some people are. But it's just a genre of film. I'm not sick and tired by it for the same reason I'm not sick and tired of sci-fi, comedy, etc. I've been reading comics since about 1974. Mostly Marvel. It took until 2008 for the technology to be good enough to bring what I had been seeing on the page to the big screen properly. And in my opinion, Marvel hasn't made a bad movie or show since they started the MCU. Even Dark World wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as their other offerings. Sometimes we watch other movies. I mean, if you just watched superhero movies, I can understand that you would tire of them. But if you keep mixing them in with all the other genres, then why would you?
Tastes vary.
I am certainly tired of all the CGI bullshit and the fast camera switching during fights. Can't tell what's going on. It lasts several minutes and entire cities or worlds are destroyed. Then in the next film, everything is alright and there is no consequence from a city-wide battle that likely killed thousands or millions of innocent people. Now they have rebooted franchises so that the original storylines are no longer even valid. Can anyone come up with a reasonable tie-in for all the Batman movies? Or any franchise that has spanned more than 2 decades? I like the straightforwardness of them. Scorsese said they're like theme park rides. I kinda agree. And those are usually my favorite type of movie to see in theaters. More serious movies I enjoy watching in the comfort of my home where I can feel free to pause and analyze them if I want. I think this is only mostly for non-comic book fans though. Those fans will always be excited for the movies whether they end up being good or not. Personally, I think these movies get a bad rap from people who consider them lesser forms of movie making. They provide some amazingly emotional scenes and awesome stories just in fantastical settings. Have there been a few that were meh? Sure. Even a few outright horrible ones. But Marvel has churned out some amazing movies and shows, and overall it has been an amazing achievement of continuous storytelling when you consider how well they planned out all of the connections from one movie to another. I, personally, deeply enjoy the lore and world-building created between 14 years of movies and shows that make up the MCU. I'm aware it's not for everyone, but I like seeing it all tie together. How Loki failing to invade New York indirectly lead to Ultron and directly lead to Thanos famously doing it himself. How Wanda creating her own world for herself created a multiversal search for her children. Sure, the movies can sometimes be mid. Looking at Multiverse of Madness or Love and Thunder. Or straight up bad. Eternals. But No Way Home. Shang-Chi and Wakanda Forever are still fun and great movies. In my humble opinion, it's how they link together that does it for me. A lot are. If you're sick of something, you stop consuming it. You don't go on and on about not consuming it, so you don't hear as much about it. I don't watch that genre. Only gratuitous violence and cheesy horrors for this gal. Closing parenthesis. Because the majority of people just want to enjoy a movie that they don't need to think about. When the shish movies started getting popular, most viewers didn't know the comic histories. To them they were just fun and exciting. Iron Man was the movie that tied a family shish movie together emo. While Batman brought critical acclaim, it was dark and not really child-friendly. Since then though, people have now grown with these movies and have become more critical as they know more about the characters. Add in the younger generations that hate everything their parents like, and you have a larger critical base with a larger platform to voice opinions on. Look at Capitan America 4. Many people don't want to see Mackie as the new Captain America. For them, Evans is Capitan America and he should not have been written out. Comic-wise it did happen though. Honestly, to me, this is like asking, you've eaten cake like 3 or 4 times a year for decades, how are you not sick and tired of cake yet? Sure, it's not particularly healthy. If I ate it all the time I'd probably start to hate it. It mostly tastes the same from cake to cake. And I'm not getting any awesome new culinary experience. At best, a bit of variation in the icing. But it's delicious. And every so often, either because it's a special occasion or I just have a craving, I eat cake. I don't think, well, you could be eating an expertly prepared meal. Or a healthy salad. I just enjoy it, knowing that although it might not be a deep culinary experience, I know what to expect and I know I'll enjoy it for a bit. Same with movies. I can be an absolute snob with the best of them. My 5 favorite movies are 2 Wes Anderson films, 2 black and white classics from the 1950s, and a groundbreaking masterpiece that is easy to dismiss as a farce. But I still like watching a few superhero movies and shows every year. No, none of them are making my top 50 list. But sometimes something that's fun, not too deep, and ends up with the good guys winning is just what I need to put me back in the mood for something serious. I'm not feeling fatigue, keep them coming! Exclamation mark. Fantastic Four, X-Men, and more still to come. Smiling face. Why do people watch the same sport every single year? For some sports, 0.162 games a year before playoffs. Baseball. And not get bored? They like that thing. Some people are. Some people aren't. Some are passive either way. The most important thing to keep in mind is that your opinion isn't an objective reality and enjoyment of a thing is never guaranteed. Enjoy what you want to. And never stop to worry that someone else is enjoying something that you don't. Most importantly, never ever try to get someone to stop enjoying something. Either you start a fight which ends in a stalemate, which sucks, or you win the fight, in which case you just took joy out of someone's life. If you're sick and tired of superhero movies, there's good news. Not only do you not have to watch them, but we're starting to get more movies that aren't blockbusters again. I recommend Bullet Train and Amsterdam. Really enjoyed them both. Amazing other people like different things. No different than me listening to all the other guys at work going on and on and on and on about football.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.